things that happen in our life, good, bad, ugly. I always akin it to like if I were to give my kids Lego for Christmas when they're 2, maybe 3, and I give them this pack of Lego to do what they want with, they're going to experience Lego at 2 very differently, like
Yes.
very innocently, very appropriately, like how they're meant to play with Lego at 2, 3.
Right.
And then they'll continue to play with it differently at 3 and 4 and
Mm-hmm.
5 and 6 and now 12, and even as an adult, like they'll play with it differently, but there's always something maybe new or there
Mm-hmm.
to reveal, to understand, to discover
Discover. Mm-hmm.
if you're willing to play. And so I don't want
Right.
to associate trauma with gifts, but I do believe that the things that happen to us are almost like a package that come to us with multiple wrappings,
Mm-hmm.
and that we don't need to go in and like rip all the paper off. Like when some people come to work with you, they're like, let's go, let's get clear. And I'm like, I can see them, they're like, let's rip the paper right now.
Rip the Band-Aid
And I'm
off.
like, easy. Easy. I understand the enthusiasm and the desperation of wanting clarity and just to
Yeah.
feel connected and like not that shit anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Feel clear of it, to feel reconciled and all of that. And I want that for everybody. And, we can go looking for trouble too soon. We can re-traumatize ourselves.
Yeah.
And that is not wanted by any version or part of us.
Right.
And so to understand there's a natural ebb and flow, and the more we trust it, and that has a lot to do with surrender.
Mm-hmm.
So all I say is start to relax the body and surrender and address what is arising. And, we don't get to cherry pick what bubbles up first. And we'll often,
Mm-hmm.
I already dealt with that. Why is that? I think, well, this I've already dealt with it is fascinating to me because
Mm-hmm.
the innocence or the innocent, I call it innocent arrogance because I think there is a part like it is kind of arrogant. Like I already dealt with that. I
Yeah.
already cried about that in 1995 and in 20, and to feel through it again kind of makes us feel like we didn't do it right, like the last time.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
go, and that's why I use the Lego thing because it's not that at all. Like you would never say that to a child, like, you really should have played like that with it when you were 2. It's like,
Yeah.
you wouldn't.
Right.
Like
It
we
is a
don't
journey.
allow for newness. We don't allow
Right.
for, because if you imagine life as a spiral staircase, and each step as you look up is kind of like right in line with the one that you're on, there's always going to be another step that's right above you or right below you that's totally like similar, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so as I think we open up to healing our consciousness, kind of peeling back layers and wanting more and
Mm-hmm.
being curious and all that, we're essentially on that staircase. so we underestimate the power and maybe the humility of being where we are and realizing the newness of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've never been here before. And when I say here, it's this age, it's with this partner for this long in this house or home, in this place in the world, with these kids at these ages, like whatever it might be, the cacophony that is of moving pieces and parts that is our life. That might be overwhelming to some, but it's like, it also offers some grace.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been here before. Like, I am not really supposed to know. I'm not supposed to know how to figure this out. I'm not supposed to have it all figured out. So that wants to offer innocence in itself, to look around and be like, what do I see from this step? And if something bumps up against you or confronts you that you're like, oh, but I thought I dealt with it.
Mm-hmm.
If you allow it to work on you at this vantage point and allowing the newness, it doesn't feel like you did it wrong before. It allows an opening and new discovery of like a mature step, a more mature vantage point.
Right.
So we can kind of take our feet out from under us without even knowing we're doing it, like undermining our own healing with judgments and assumptions.
Criticism and yeah.
Yeah.
And the
So
negative self-talk that goes with that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I hope people are hearing that and realizing, gosh, what if that's what's happening? What if I've been kind of blocking processing things that
Mm-hmm.
I assumed I've worked through, when a part of me is saying, yeah, we know you worked through it a year ago, but there's something new here that we want you to see that's really important to the next step, that actually wants to give you even more liberation, that wants to give you even more freedom or more
More
power. And we
healing.
don't think about that. We just
Mm-hmm.
think it hurts. I don't like this. It feels like it's taking me back.
Right.
None of us want to feel
Right. We just want you moving
pulled back.
forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And that's true. And that is, and that is all, that is part of the healing journey. And it's okay. You're not taking a step back, because what you're
Mhm.
explaining is exactly, I can see that over my lifetime, where I'm like in one area of my life and taking a workshop on childhood abuse.
Mhm.
And I was going to a church at the time, and I had been going to this church for 3 years. And I sat down one Saturday night, and there was this flyer about a childhood abuse with healing workshop. And the first thing that came to my mind is, oh, I've worked through that. I'm good. I have
Yeah.
forgiven. I'm healed. I'm good. And I just kept feeling this little nagging of going and going. And so I gave in. And what I realized is, yes, I had absolutely had a measure of healing. I had absolutely had forgiveness towards one of the abusers for sure,
Mhm.
but I didn't see the other two. I didn't even see them. And I recognized it, and it was huge. And
Mhm.
then what came from that is a friend of mine and I were able to co-facilitate this workshop for 8 years and helped hundreds of women begin their healing journey. And so you never know. You never know what can come from it, right?
Yeah,
All those lives that got
exactly.
affected because Beverly and I said, yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that,
Mhm.
and it's just it's profound. But I had thought, oh, I'm good. I healed. I'm good. And I was very wrong, very wrong.
Yeah.